We are continuing on Masechet Succah, and we are on the very bottom of Daf Gimel Amud Bet, 2 lines up from the bottom of the Amud. Today's Amud is being learned as a Zchut Refuah Shelema for Rachel Simcha Bat Nahid, that should have full recovery, Refuah Shelema, and the girl in our community that had a fire accident should be also it's good for her.
Amen.
A simcha, Esther Bracha Bat Chaya that she's having another upcoming operation that should Be'ezrat Hashem go well and should be refuah shelema for her as well. Amen. The learnings of Chodesh Tishrei have been dedicated by the Farivar family in the memory of Shlomo ben Yitzchak Chaim, Alav Shalom. Should be his chut for Aliyat Neshama. And by the Rosen family for safety of the Chayalim, the soldiers, and the speedy and safe return of all of the remaining Chatufim, hostages, Be'ezrat Hashem, to their families. By Dr. Yoram Nasir in memory of Avraham ben Yehuda, and for Refuah Shelema of Sharon ben Rivka. This month's learnings of the community have been graciously dedicated by Dayan family, by Cohen family. Because probably dirt is so dirt cheap, right? Pun intended. It's just so not chashuv that you're not going to take it. It's batel already, right? You don't need to actually go out of your put your shtreimel and put your gartel and say Hashem yichud. You don't have to do that. It's batel. You put it there. And Tevin, also, you don't need to verbalize it. So long as you have a clear mindset, I'm not taking this for the next 7 days. I'm not planning to. That's sufficient. So that states Machloket Chachamim and Rabbi Yossi. So says the Gemara, Tevin ve'en atid lefanoto ve'afar stam. Straw that you're not planning to take within the next 7 days, and afar, even if you have zero mindset, stam. Machloket Rabbi Yossi ve'Rabbanan. That constitutes a machloket between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbanan Ditnan. As we learned in the Mishnah, Bait shemileuhu tevin. Let me give you a preface on this. This is, like Chazal say, Divrei Torah aniyim b'makom zeh ve'ashirim b'makom achir. Divrei Torah, sometimes they are poor in one place and rich in a different place. This is a machloket we learn from Hilchot Tumah v'Tahara in Masechet Ohalot, Perek Tetvav. Mishnah Zayin, there the Mishnah discusses what happens. If you have a corpse in a house, the entire cavity of the house becomes tameh, right? Or even if you have a kazayit of a corpse, it's already metameh. Now, how about if you have something in the second floor and there is a hole in the ceiling? Does the tumah go up? Does the tumah not go up? Right? So if you have a tefach, between the corpse and the ceiling, then it doesn't. It stays. If you don't have a tefach, right, then the tumah is bokeh, it goes up. Okay? Without getting into the details of Hilchot Tumah v'Tahara, the Mishnah there says, how about if I feel there is a tefach? There is a tefach between the bottom and the top, and you filled in that tefach, that little space, with different items. Does that constitute that now there is no tefach and the tumah goes up? Or do we look at those items as just filling in a cavity for now, but it's not really stuffed, right? So the Mishnah discusses these very items that we had. What if you filled in that tefach cavity with straw? What if you filled it with blankets and pillows? What if you put some dirt in there, right? The exact 3 things that we discussed there really comes from Hilchot Tumah v'Tahara in Masechet Ohalot. So let's learn it together. Says the Gemara, this is the extent of Tumah v'Tahara you're going to have here in Masechet Sukkah. So, says the Gemara, Bayit shemileu tevin osrorot ubitelo mebutal. If you put straw or you put small pebbles, like dirt basically, if you were mebatel, if you said, I am not taking this straw out of here, I'm going to leave it here forever. Leave it here forever. Or I put dirt here, this dirt belongs here, I'm not taking it forever. Says the Mishnah, mevutal. Then it's considered part and parcel of the ground level of this area, and therefore you have no cavity of a tefach, it was filled in, the tum'ah goes up. Bitelo'in, and the Mishnah, the Gemara is medaik, if you are mebatalid, yes, lo bitelolo. If you didn't say, I want it to be nullified, then it's not nullified. It's not. So says the Gemara, V'tani Allah, and we learn on this, Rabbi Yossi Omer, Rabbi Yossi says, it really depends. Teven ve'en atid lefaroto. If you have a straw and you have a clear mindset, I'm not taking this out of here, it's good enough. You have dirt and you have no plans at all, no mindset. Harehu ke'afar stam. Either straw that you have a clear mindset that I'm not planning to take this, or dirt and no mindset, just filled it in with dirt. Says Rabbi Yossi, it's going to be good. Ubatil. Afar ve'atid lefanoto, hareu kestam teven ve'lo batil. If you have dirt, but you have a clear plan that you're going to use it for construction in 3 days. Like you say, meanwhile, until Amigo comes, we're going to put it here. In 3 days, my workers are coming, we're going to take it out. Then it's considered teven, like teven stam, like if you would put straw and you have zero mindset. Those two, says Rabbi Yossi, is not good. But if you have straw and you have a clear mindset, I'm not taking this out of here, or dirt even without that, just put dirt there, it's good. So all of that is going to be kasher for Sukkah, says the Gemara, according to Rabbi Yossi. It says Machloket Rabbanan and Rabbi Yossi over. So now, this, by the way, these things actually do come handy. You'll see in just a moment a massive chidush, contrary to what everyone around this massive table here thinks, because it says in the halacha, especially for Ashkenazim, certainly they are machmir, and you see from this Gemara, not like that, the upcoming Gemara, which really goes together with this Gemara that we just did as well. So next piskei halacha that the Gemara brings is the following. If the sukkah is taller than 20 amot, but now instead of having the platform of the karka elevated, you have the ceiling that is coming down. You have a thick ceiling and it has the branches that are coming down from the 20 amot. Imagine your schach is here, but you put leaves, so a lot of branches are coming down within the 20 amot. Right, from the karka until here is 20 and a half amot, so it's lemala me'esrim, but you have a lot of branches that are coming 2-3 feet down, right? Is that considered good? Or is that not considered good? So says the Gemara, really depends. It depends. If those branches on their own, without the top, if what's below 20, right? If what is below 20 by themselves would create more shade in the sukkah than sun, then your sukkah is kasher. In other words, Dal mehacha, the schach on the top, we disregard the schach on the top, and we would imagine if all these branches that are protruding down into the cavity of 20 amot, if they would be sufficient to have more shade in the sukkah than sun, kasher. Otherwise, sukkah is pasul, because we disregard those little things protruding down, and it would be pasul. Fine. Says the Gemara, how about the reverse? In other words, you remember we learned the minimum height of sukkah is how much? 10 tfachim, like kacha. It's very little, right? 10 tefachim. Imagine you have a sukkah that's 10 tefachim. It's zayin amot al zayin amot. Chazak baruch. Mamash. The minimum kosher sukkah. It comes with the badat hechsher sticker on it. But then what you did was you put schach, and some small branches are protruding down, and now you don't have really 10 tefachim high. So what would we say based on the Gemara we just learned? So easy. Just imagine if those small branches on their own are more shade than sun, it's pasul. If it's more sun than shade, it should be kasher because we disregard them, right? That's why it comes out based on what we learned. And that's exactly, if you thought so, you're in good company because Abaye thought so too. Right? It says the Gemara, Abaye, Savar Abaye lememar, Im chamatam meruba misilatam, if there's more sun than shade for those small pieces of branches that we have, then your sukkah is kasher because you have 10 tefachim high and it's kasher. Amale Rava said, no, Abaye, not so fast. Because this is diras rucha. How can you live in this? You need minimum of 10 tefachim to be inside. But you don't have that because this branch is poking you from here, the other branch, nobody's going to want to live in here. It's a diras rucha. It's a disgusting dwelling. It's not something people want to live in. It's a stinky house. Right? Now from a smell, but it's because it's so uncomfortable, right? This one's going to your eye, the other one's going to your ear. You can't live there. Nobody's going to live there. So therefore, it's not a matter of disregarding the schach in a halachic light. It's a very practical thing. You have to have an open area of at least 10 tefachim high to be able to live in there. And that's not provided over here, so therefore it's pasul. Ve'en adam dar b'diras rucha. A person does not live in that type of a house. Now says the Gemara, this is what we wanted to discuss. You have a sukkah that's taller than 20 amot, but no problem. You built a stage. You built a stage in your sukkah. And now the platform that you built until the schach is less than 20 amot. What's the halakha then? It's a building, right? You mamash elevated the platform of the ground level of your sukkah. So says the Gemara, it depends. You see, you need 3 walls, right? You need 3 walls for a sukkah to be kasher. So it really depends where the istaba is. Because if you have an istaba, that imagine for yourself if, let me use this as an example, okay? So imagine this is your walls. I mean, this would be like this, right? So this is your 3 walls of the sukkah, and your platform that you're making is here. You made a platform here, and the platform by itself is more than 7 by 7 tefachim. It has the amount of hechsher sukkah. So then this area, if you're standing on this area, that is a kosher sukkah by itself. You know why? Because it has 1, 2, 3 walls, and it's less than 20 amot tall, kasher. But what if I have my platform here? They don't have 3 walls. Right? The area that's kasher doesn't have 3 walls. Because this wall, until the schach, is more than 20 amot. So this wall, it doesn't count. You only have a piece of wall here. Imagine if the istaba, the platform is here in the middle. So you have this wall, little one. You have this wall, little one. Then what else do you have? Nothing. So therefore, it will be pasul. So says the Gemara, and I'll read. Let's read this together. If you have ubana ba istaba keneged dofan ha'emtzai al penei kula. It goes from wall to wall, from side to side, and you have this middle wall. So you have your 3 walls there. Says the Gemara, it's kasher. Umin hatzad. But what if I made the platform here? Right? I made it here. From the side. This is my entrance here. These are my 3 walls. The sukkah is pasul because it's taller than 20 amot. And I said, no problem. I built a istaba, I built a platform here on the side. Is that kasher or not? Gemara says, well, it depends. If you have from the edge of this platform, this is your edge, right? From here to here you built it. If from this edge until the other wall over here, you have 4 amot, that means about around 6 feet, then it's pasul. If it's less than 4 amot, it's kasher. Why is that? Who cares about that? Now imagine, you have one wall here from your this stage that you built, right? Where's the third wall? You need 3 walls for a sukkah, right? So says the Gemara, if this area is less than 6 feet, less than 4 amot, you could even count this wall. So yeah, even though that this whole area is pasul, you can't stand there and eat your sandwich because that's a sukkah psula, but we still could count this wall as your third wall if this area is less than 4 amot. Now, why? Yeah. Because we assume that this is dofan akuma. Right? Get used to the terminology of dofan akuma means a crooked wall. In other words, this whole wall that's here, we look at it as it's going up. The schach of it is pasul because the schach is lemala means, but there is schach there, right? There is schach there. So we look at it as this, the wall curving in and coming until this platform. That means this is a curved wall, and now your wall is here because less than 4 amot. So you have one wall. This is the stage again. This is the stage you built. You have one wall here, and this wall also is considered covering you. So that, but if you have farther than 4 amot, you can't say this is halacha Moshe Misinai. That if you have a ceiling that's there, it's not air, it's actual, but the ceiling is pasul. Schach pasul. If it's less than 4 amot, you can imagine it that it's like a wall, and that would be kasher. This actually is very applicable to a lot of sukkahs that people have in Los Angeles in their backyard, because a lot of the backyards, as you come out of the living room, especially in the modern houses, right, there's an awning of the balcony upstairs there, and people want that to be part of the sukkah, right? People want that to be part of the sukkah because they want to use the wall of the house. It's a solid wall. Can you do it or not? So, well, it really depends. If it's less than 6 feet, the width of the balcony on top, the awning that you have, the awning is less than 6 feet. We say, okay, the awning is part of the wall here, and therefore it's considered that you have a wall here, right? You can't sit underneath this, but you could start your sukkah from here, and you have 2 other walls, and you're good to go. That's exactly what the Gemara is saying over here. Now the Gemara says, wait a second, what's the chidush? The chidush is that we say dofan akuma. I know you can say dofan akuma. I know already from a different place that you say dofan akuma. But before we even read the Gemara over here, what chidush la'alacha l'maaseh you learn from this Gemara that we didn't know so far? There is a she'elah. This question happens almost every year. You put your schach first, and then you put your walls of the sukkah. Is that kasher or pasul? Right? You're not supposed to do that. Right? You're not supposed to. What happens if I have we get have the case of Gadish coming up? Well, let me not confuse you. Let's leave that for when we get to the Gemara. But you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to build the walls first and then put the schach. But guess what? A lot of people, it's much more easy for them to not have walls and to be able to go through when you have the metal structure or whatever structure you have. If you have one of the gazebos, or you have a pergola, whatever it is, it's easier to just be able to go through and put the ladder here, ladder there, and drop the ceilings on top. It's much easier. So you ended up doing the schach first. Or you built your sukkah, you build your wall first, and then you put your schach, and then you call the rabbi, right? Mistake, right? You have to call the rabbi when your walls are up before you put the schach up. right? And the rabbi comes. I had this several cases with Erev Sukkot. I'll put a plug for it right now. I think every Rav in the community should do this. All the Baal Batim should takes 5 seconds. 2 pictures and a 5-second video and send it to make sure. So I went to visit it, and many of them, the walls were pasul. Right? So you could do this, and easily you could kosherize the wall. So what's happening with schach now? Because now if the wall is pasul, turns out to be that you put the schach before you put the walls. So simply put, many would say that this is pasul, right? You have to do it again, or you have to take a thing and elevate the schach and drop it back. Oh, fine. And maybe the chatkilah person should do that. But what do you see from this Gemara over here? And we'll talk about this tomorrow a little bit more. You see from this Gemara, you have a sukkah that the schach is pasul, right? Why is the schach pasul? Because it's higher than 20 amot.
Right.
And what did I just do? I didn't touch the schach. I just elevated the platform. I built an istava in the sukkah, which means I shortened the walls. That's what I did. My walls were taller than 20. I fixed my walls. And what's the halakha? The sukkah is kasher. How in the world does that work with what we all know? That if you built the schach before the walls, it may be a problem, right? So that would be the $1 million question. And this happens literally every year. The people have this question. So tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, will open the shiur with this question: La halacha ul maaseh. What exactly is going to be the din? Chazak u'baruch.